perspective also.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion that this whole pandemic is something that has been obviously orchestrated to usher in two aspects. One is transhumanism, and the other one is technocracy. Now, transhumanism is they're using this vaccine to control people. It's a way of controlling and tracking people. And I've just discovered in the last while that in this vaccine, apparently there are magnetoproteins which can affect the neurons of the brain. I must send you that article. Interesting stuff that they discovered that these guys are doing, with this vaccine. You're finding that metal objects are sticking to people now. After people have gotten the vaccine,
no.
objects sticking to them. I don't know if that is due to the magnetoproteins or something else. What do you think?
Look, we our own, we should not induce another kind of fear.
No, I'm not inducing fear. No.
Look, of course, I know that they use nanoparticles, iron nanoparticles to deliver substances to this or this organ or tissue. But this is definitely not inside the vaccine. What's in the vaccine, it's non-metallic nanoparticle. And if you have the luck that they will stick here and not float too quickly inside your brain, then it's good for you. If they go quickly away from here, then you risk thrombosis. You risk a swollen brain, dying with heart, with brain pressure, But what is happening, a lot of blood is bleeding here. You have inflammation, you have a lot of iron from the blood, and you can easily magnetize this. And then a magnet is sticking. But it's not magnetic on its own that it will hold a metal. So it's easy. And it's really 1/3 of the population being vaccinated, a very strong small magnet is holding, not a metal on its own. So, but the other critics saying that molecular genetics works and that and they think the virus exists and that there is a spike protein and the RNA injected is really producing this spike protein and that it's produced inside our blood vessels and an autoimmune reaction will kill our blood vessels. I mean, this is a concept onto a concept onto a concept, but it has no basis, right? First, there is no virus. Then there is no spike protein. So the mRNA, believed to be carried inside the body, definitely it's going to be digested in the very same moment. Look, I'm reading all these journals. This is here from Technology Review, May 2020. And it said that the companies using no nanoparticles, the RNA injected classically here does not do any reaction, nothing. They could not measure anything. So one big German company, CureVac, who received 300 million euro to develop it, still are not coming out because those researchers are more sincere. And when they try to develop mRNA vaccines for the animal market, they found out, look, there is a contradiction. And but the other company, they went on. And another aspect you were not realizing, two things to set. What is driving this dynamic? One is that for 40 years, a lot of people invested a lot of money into gene technology, but this never ever is going to work out. No therapy ever worked, to the contrary. So, but after 40 years, they are taking their money out and they have to, if not really, then the whole thing would collapse because billions of dollars are in genetic engineering, which never is able to work. So therefore they take it out. And another thing, it's really become obvious, right? After Soviet Union imploded, by the good advice of Gorbachev that everybody should save his face. So there was no war, no shooting, nothing. And it was a really soft change without war, without violence. This we can learn from the Russian, and we have to learn it from the Russian, how such a change is able to work, or that it's able, right? But the military, they lost their enemy. So they went back to their old enemy, the bacteria and the viruses. The military definitely believe into this concept. There are no people which are vaccinated more often than United States, Army soldiers, and with severe side effects. And I mean,
can I just say, Dr. Lanka, can I just say that sorry, you wanted to finish that point. I wanted to add something there, but please go ahead.
No. So this was it, and the Soviet Union gave up all their bacterial warfare already in the 70s, right? Because they understood this is a concept that's not true. What is believed to be said, a toxin of a bacteria, tetanus toxin or the botulinus toxin, it's in reality, it's a harmless enzyme. You can produce 100 kilos and swim, eat, swallow, whatsoever. Nothing ever it's happened, except you put half a liter of it in the brain through the ear or through the eye. And this is the animal experiments, what they are doing, right? And in fact, this is also a self-fooling, which was described in 56 to keep up with their old notions. And of course, nobody wants that the fundament of his belief or scientific, things that it's overthrown. Nobody likes it. It's hard. It's painful.
Yeah. So I just want to come in, Ricardo, you can come in now. So I just want to clarify, there's no virus, which obviously I couldn't find any evidence for. So the spike protein doesn't come from a virus. I mean, if they say no protein, it can't be coding, the messenger RNA can't be coding for spike protein from a virus. So either some protein that it's coding for. But Ricardo, you can come in and Dr. Lanka can pick up that point.
I want to say, Dr. Lanka, look, I am always fascinated listening to you. Again, you have said what is on my mind, in terms of there is a little bit of fear mongering going on there. And people are falling into that trap. And thank you again for just clarifying. I sometimes think you read my mind, you say what is on my mind. But thank you for that. But what I wanted to say to you is as well, Dr. Lanka, I appreciate, it's good to speak to you, to proper scientists. You and Dr. Kirsten are one of the few proper scientists left, I think. And part of my objective here, Dr. Lanka, is I want the truth to prevail. I want us to return back to truth and facts. And look, I don't have any preconceived ideas. I'm open to any possibility, but I want that possibility to be led by facts, not fear-mongering, not deception, not self-deception, as you say, not self-fooling each other here. And this is why we are taking this court case on. Because as you mentioned, our country, unfortunately, we have been a victim of bad governance and bad politics and self-fooling for a very long time. I'm sure you're very familiar with our history. Yeah. And this is part of what I want to now draw a line with here, is to say, listen, we are no longer going to just take a story. We want the facts. We want the facts. We want to know exactly what is the truth and what is the facts here. Because I believe with you, we can have that peaceful transition. We can have a situation where this chaos that we are currently living can be resolved peacefully. But it's going to be resolved peacefully only when we can demonstrate to people the facts, the truth, in a nice manner. And as you say, not in a manner where we're necessarily going out there from the beginning saying you are bad and we're going to prove it. No. Yeah. We are open-minded, but we are saying, let us go to the facts. Just to give you an example here, Dr. Lanka. We went to court on the 27th of May. We went to court and we asked our government here and we said, show us the virus. We said, show us the virus, give us proof of its existence, because you said to us, you are imposing these measures because of a virus. So show it, prove it. And many people, as you say, many people laughed at me. Some people said, that is a retarded question that I'm asking. I had to grow a thick skin. People say these kind of things. But then we went to court, Dr. Lanka. And in the court, the government argued vehemently. I'm going to send you the transcripts as soon as we have. The government said, we do not want to show you. We don't want to show you. And obviously the judge, unfortunately, you also have experience of the judiciary. The judge said, it's okay. The government does not have to show proof of the virus. And so that's obviously we're speaking to you now, because we're not going to let the matter end there. We're going to continue. But you see, Dr. Lanka, when people heard these things, when they heard me saying, show me the virus, they thought it was ridiculous. They laughed at me. When they now hear that the government says, we don't want to show you, now they are worried. They are saying, what is going on here? And so now what we are in the next position, so people want to know, they want to know an answer to this question. In South Africa now, because of what we are doing here, people's minds are ready for the truth now. And that's why we're reaching out to a person like yourself, Dr. Lanka. We want you to help us to get to a point where people can understand what is the truth about this matter. So that once that shift in people's minds can come, then we can change our circumstances without force. Because the only time that we require force is if we haven't changed people's minds. And that's what I'm really thankful